All right, all right. You know what time it is. It's Monday night in the Counselor's Corner. Time for another open court discussion. I'm your host, David Lorenzo Glover, aka the Controversial Counselor. Joining me is my co host, the Big Bad Wolf, Herb Lewis.
Ow.
Oh, that growl is long and fierce tonight. The panel will be the panel. We just never know. Stay locked in. Recap from this past Monday show, we discussed the topic why some women went through the 304 phase. Please check out the YouTube channel, The Controversial Counselor, for the replay of the broadcast or engage in the YouTube shorts, TikTok videos, Facebook, and IG Reels. Now, let's push forward to tonight, November 20th. The topic will be: Are men capping to have sex or women just being delusional? There is no wrong or right answer. We just want to have an open court discussion to solicit thoughts, perspectives, and different experiences. Here are ways some men like to cap to get sex. I haven't had sex in years. They might throw that out there. Damn near say they're a reborn virgin or something. And something about that may trigger a woman and say, "Oh, I'm gonna put it on his ass. I'm gonna put something on him." You know, and there you have it. That's one of them. And let me see, lost my thought. And then about the way that they feel about a woman, they may tell you anything, just to be in good graces and get what they're looking for. And then also their relationship status. So those are just a few, and we have so much more to share with you. So remember, please like and share our video, and don't forget to tell a friend, family member, or coworker to subscribe to the YouTube channel, The Controversial Counselor. The best place to be on a Monday night where the outcome is unpredictable, unlike most Monday night football games. Well, tonight we happen to have a repeat of the Super Bowl, so I'm sure people will be tuned in for that. But if not, if you're looking for some dynamic grown folk conversation, you know where to be. That's in the counselor's corner. So we here. We're gonna get at it. What's going on, Big Bad Wolf, in your world?
The water's a steady, man. Ain't a whole lot going on. Bank account finally got resolved. So, one of my older brothers dropped in from out of town, so we went out, chill for a second, and I watched the Bills game yesterday. So, everything's pretty much copacetic, man. I got no issues right now. That's a good thing.
And for me, we finally got the luxury of having the Wednesday, the day before um, Thanksgiving off. And I know a lot of times people used to want to take it off for a travel date so they don't have to be on the road for Thanksgiving. And to be honest, I don't even know the real reason why they gave us the day off. But I'm thinking probably has something to do when we were going through with COVID, and they probably realized like, hey man, we gotta to retain teachers and to make it a little sweet, we gotta give them something to look forward to, and that might have been one of the things that because people always wanted to wanted to have that day off before Thanksgiving, so that's a great thing. And with that, usually many students may not show up tomorrow. So, I mean, I'm sure that's a relief on a lot of the teachers and staff. But then again, who knows? They might just come for the social hour. They want to play. But also on another note, I always, when it comes across my mind, I want to give a shout out or my condolences to one of our North Avenue fam for Niagara Falls, North Avenue, Ontario. We know him as Heavy, Rodney Staley. had seen information that he passed, and it's crazy, man. It's crazy. Like that age group, late 40s, 50s, is starting to hit real hard. Mortality and people leaving the earth. And what was so funny, when I was there in September outside my sister's house, I was getting something out the car, and somebody rolled by, and then they threw the car in reverse and came back, and he rolled down the window like, "Yo, man, I couldn't ride by without talking to you know, one of my OG friends from North Ave," and we talked for a minute, and then wished each other well, and here a couple months later, he's out, which is crazy that how things happen. But I guess before that, the one thing I could say as far as him, he was that kid that always had stuff before everybody else had it. Always had it. He was a trendsetter, uh, funny guy, and just all around, good person. And man, he's gonna be missed by many, and you could tell by people timeline on social media from the folks from the falls. That one hit hard again. Not that they all don't, but he was a fixture. Like he's been around. He's had great popularity, a big family. So shout out to Heavy, man. Rest in peace, brother.
Yeah,
Right.
and to add to that, we touched on this last week, and it is, it's coming around to that time of the year, where people need to start checking on friends, family members, because you never know who's going through what right now. I just had a friend reach out to me, regarding one of her friends' uh, untimely passing, and she was saying how she regrets getting in an argument, with that individual and not reconciling things. So people understand, as adults, we all have our own ways of thinking, opinions, and that should never, and I do mean sincerely, that should never be the demise of a relationship. Sit down, hash out why you have your differences. Understand that having those differences should not be the reason why things end, unless somebody's done something horrific. Like I said, this is one of the reasons why we do shows like these, is so people can sit there and get those thoughts out. They can harness that bad energy, if you will, and put that out there. Don't carry that around with you like it's some badge of honor. You have that somebody can get close to you, because there's gonna be some time that you're gonna want somebody close to you, and you spent a lifetime constructed a wall and parapets that keeps people out. So let somebody in once in a while. You never know who you let in, what they can do for you. So just keep that in mind. During this holiday season, because we're coming upon, and this, like David said earlier, this week is Thanksgiving. So start checking in on people. Start having people check in on you, whatever the case is. And, do that throughout the year. Just don't do it this time of year. Do it throughout the year.
Yeah, it's definitely not the time to be holding grudges or whatever, especially if it's people who been overall good to you in your life, and y'all had one falling out, and then y'all, for whatever reason, stop talking. Like, we all know life is short. It ain't promised. You don't want to have no regrets, or ill feelings, or wishing that you could have did more, or you should have did this or that. And this time of year, this is what it's about during this time: family and friends and everybody to try to, you know, get along well, and just close out the year. And damn, this year went by fast. Well, we say this every time, but damn, we
Yeah.
just walk through this shit like it ain't nothing. Whatever, goes by so fast, but it's the way it is. But we gonna move on to the topic of tonight, because it's that time of year too that We already know that it's been cuffing season for a while. Uh, some guys out there, they trying to nestle up, man. They trying to trying to get in good. And some of you women, you know, y'all talk a big game, talk a hell of a game, but some of them brothers come through and hey, they be all right. They be set up. They be set up for the winter. So so the title was "Are Men Capping to Have Sex or Are Women Being Delusional?" So Herb, with this topic, what came to your mind, especially about the women being
Ah,
delusional part?
you know what the funny thing was? It was a post that was posted in the counselor's corner, and I'm sitting there and I'm reading the replies and the back and forth, and I'm just thinking, do people really ever sit there and just actually be honest with themselves? Be honest with themselves. Be honest with each other, because the old adage is sex is a weapon, and some people say no, it is, and some people say yeah, it is. It is. But for some people, because they can't wield it right, they don't know how to use it. Now, that's not necessarily a good thing. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It all depends on what your position is in regards to the person that you might be seeking or the person that's seeking you. Now, there's been a circulating of an adage that women sleep with who they want to, and men sleep with who they can. And for the most part, to be honest, it has a lot of validity to it. The only problem is this, because for the most part, men pursue. Women are the pursuers. But what happens when the shoe is on the other foot? And women are out here chasing after this man, and this man said, "Oh, I got a fish on the hook. Let's see what I can get from this shorty." And this is something we talked about last week, which is why women go on down that 304 path. So he catches this fish, scales it, cuts it, fries it, eats it, throws back what's left. Now, this woman might be feeling some kind of way because she thought there was going to be some more. He never communicated. She had an expectation, and all of a sudden, now that expectation is not met. Now she wants to proceed to dog this fella out, talking about, oh, he was only after this and he didn't say this. And what, damn, women, what did you guys actually sit down and talk about before the deed was done? Or that ain't the point. No, that is the point. It really is. It really is. So if you one of those women that's out here running around chasing after a specific man because he meets all your 6'6", 6 foot, six pack, and got six figures, and he treats you like one step away from seven, nobody to blame but yourself. And that's where the delusion part comes in, because there's no question in my mind that men lie to get they get what they do. There's a book that Alan Roger Curry written, and best wishes to his wife and his at the particular time newborn child. Hope they're doing well. The book was called The Possibility of Sex, and that's something we have mentioned on this platform before. And how that book came about was Alan was among some of his college female friends, and they asked him, they said, why do men lie to get sex? It's not as if women don't want it too. He said, I don't know. And it prompted him to write this book. So, and I haven't read the book, full disclosure. There's a couple of other books of his that I want to get to, and eventually I get to read those, and that definitely would be something we'll be discussing. But the thing becomes, a lot of men don't want to be perceived as only pursuing women for sex. So some of them will lie. Some of them will tell the age old thing, yeah, I like you, or depending on your age, yeah, I love you. This is gonna lead to something else, and yada yada yada. And next thing you know, he out the door. He done played the role of Melvin, if you will. And we all know how Melvin get down. Melvin coming in, get what he can. He might lay up for a little bit, and after that, he in the wind.
Oh, Melvin. Melvin been kind of quiet, so Melvin may be in a committed relationship or something. He ain't surfaced in a while.
Yeah, so we
uh,
we and it's his favorite time of the year is cuffing season. We ain't talking about the French cuffs or the ones you put in your pants. We talking about them slide in the fold. No pun intended. Don't want to offend anybody. But I got a joke for people. Go ahead. Did you say something?
okay, because a lot of times and I know it's always memes and stuff circulating about cuffing season and all of that stuff, and a lot of times you see people, you read stuff and people comments and they say stuff like, like only an idiot who would fall for that. And I often tell them, this shit is real. It's happening. It's happening to people you probably don't um, um, think that it would happen to. And typically, those people, if they start alienating themselves from you and kind of being distant or short, and I'm not saying that's the only reason, but sometimes that is the reason because she got something going on that she doesn't want to hear her best friends or her sister friends or whatever don't want to hear their mouth or her family members. So she's kind of, keeping to herself. But typically, if she does have a smaller child around and they go around the family, one of them will run their damn mouth and tell it. Uh, yeah, my mommy friend Melvin been over here. They'll go running their mouth and stuff and get out. But uh, stuff like that is real. Um, and people often ask, who do you hang out? Who are these people that you know? And I don't necessarily know. It is out there. You see it. You see it. All you gotta do is wake up, look around. Sometimes people just have tunnel vision, and that's all. They're out in the outdoors, and all they know is how to get into their destination, but never looking around to kind of see what's going on in their environment. And it's a lot of things that you be missing.
Just read one of my inbox messages from somebody, and somebody said, "Yeah, if I was a man that wanted to have sex with somebody, I'd probably lie too." So people, it's there whether the jokes are tongue in cheek or they're serious. We've known women to have one night stands and has a kid as a result of that, and she ain't never bargained for it. So they're out there for people, like David said, for people who talk about they don't know this and they don't know that. You're burying your head in the sand because they are there. But let me get to the joke I was going to tell. Mother and daughter in the kitchen. Daughter sees a group of boys outside playing, and she asks, "Mom, can I go outside and play with the boys?" She says, "No, they're too rough." Daughter thinks for a second. She says, "Well, if I can find one that's smooth, can I play with him?" And the mother says, "No, no, 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 no." Now, some people look at the joke, and some people won't. And if you don't, and if you don't, then hey, you lived a good life, I suppose. But what that joke is supposed to symbolize is this: you have some men who have the gift of gab, and they are able to, with words, find a way to get to the goal. We talked about this a couple weeks ago with baseball, where women were the catchers, men were the batters, and some women, no matter how good that gift of gab is, they set the game down. And you know what happens until one or two things happen: we married or we in a committed relationship. Now, there's a question asked by Joyce. What do we mean by women are delusional? We know that women chiefly run on emotions, and there's nothing wrong with that. We all do to an extent. It's just that women value those more than they do facts that are in evidence. So you have women who will deal with a man who's been known to have multiple females. Well, I'm not saying it's good. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just putting it out there. And here he comes, catches this shorty in his eye and says, "Look, yeah, I'm gonna get that." He runs up on her, starts spitting the game. She said, "Nah, I already know about you." And he started laying it down. Y'all, come on, those other females were this, they were that. You different. What? She said, "Well, what makes me special?" And he starts laying it on thick. 3, 4 weeks go by. When he get them things, and he gone. He don't call. He don't text. He see you. It's like you paper mache. You finally corner him. And you say, "What happened?" He said, "What do you mean? What happened? You told me all this. You told me all that, but you ain't called a text afterwards." He said, "Babe, I'm just doing what I do," and he gone. Now you sitting here slightly distraught, disgruntled, and you want to start blaming men, but you knew what this guy was about. Yeah, now the guy lied, but you liked him enough to want to believe the lie, knowing he ain't left nothing but a trail of broken dreams, lies, and unkept promises. You asked around, and people told you that's what he does, and you thought you was gonna change him. Why? I don't know. So I don't know what to make of the game. I just know how to report it. I've had, let me phrase it so nobody gets pinched. I've known members of my old crew to run through some chutes, climb some ladders, and hit that magic spot. And they would turn around to me and say, "But you're not like them. Why do you hang out with them?" I said, "Because we're cool." And I think that's what a lot of women don't understand about men and how we form bonds and who we hang out with. We don't necessarily hang out with men because they can get a lot of women. Sometimes our friendships form from high school, and whoever has it with the women, they just have it with the women. That's what it is. We understand that, we respect it. We might try and glean things from them so we can get one that we like. But the only other problem with that is this: she has to like us equally. And that's where a lot of imbalance comes in a lot of relationships. And up until a certain point, women have the power dynamic in their favor. It's not until sex occurs that that power dynamic switches. And depending on the woman, that may not happen at all. She might be in it for the same thing that he's in it, and he might get caught up. So what happens when he gets caught up? Well, we'll have to deal with that some other time. But we're on the women right
uh,
now.
yeah, I guess when he get caught up. Guess you just better be ready for the. Well, I mean, I guess it depends on the individual. Sometimes that individual it can lead to some violent tendencies. Like don't think you gon' walk away from me or do this and do that, and you know even some of the stuff you see, and again we always talk about hating talk about these people that got money and stuff like that, but I don't understand how some of them get into predicaments that they get into unless it's all about control, and sometimes that's what it's all about for that guy that um, you know he catches the feelings and he's the one on the other end, and
Mhm.
he's used to controlling his environment, atmosphere, and everything. Then all of a sudden, someone else is controlling it, and he kind of loses it. So it just makes me think of the stuff that you're reading and seeing videos now, like whatever his name is, Sean Combs, P Diddy, or whatever the case is, and all of
Yeah.
that, those accusations and stuff. I'm like, what are they doing, man? Like, with that much money, I mean, I'm not stressing, man. I'm not even dealing. I'm not even arguing with nobody. I don't got time for that. I'm just, I'm not even trying to exert my control of what I have on anyone. I'm just living life and just trying to, you know, be the best and put other people on so that they could, live the life. And I just don't understand half of the stuff that be going on. But I guess they say that's Hollywood and that's how it is. But not one want no parts of that. I'd be a funny acting person. I know it's easy for me to say now, and if I was in there, but I just don't see it. But and again, that's on a different level than just the average person who gets caught out there and he's a guy and he's got caught up in his feelings and now he want to exert his control. Some guys may say, "Hey, after a while, I tried. I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm out. I'm not gonna go through it." And we've spoken on this before. And typically, those are guys that may have other options. Other options. Not saying that that one person didn't, but sometimes people have options because of their finances or whatever the case is. And then, as Herb said earlier, sometimes guys just have it because they're charismatic. Uh, they treat people well. They conduct themselves well, and they people gravitate towards them.
Mhm.
And those type of guys may say, "Man, I was feeling her, but hey, I'm only gonna try for so long, and then after that, I'm moving on. I'm moving on because they know that's not the end of the road for them. They know they got stuff. They can always have something cooking, and that's the way they carry it.
Yeah, and there's been just to follow what Dave was talking about with regards to Hollywood. There's been some grumblings about Steve Harvey's daughter and the way she's operating. A lot of women are maintaining that a lot of guys are jealous of her because she can do that. And I'm of the opinion, and maybe it's because I'm the age that I am in my early 50s. I personally see it for what it is. She moving how she wants to. Now, who's to say what she's going to do if she's going to continue to do this, and if she can, more power to her. All she's doing is doing what some women would say men have been doing for decades. While that might be true, the price that she might pay is nowhere near a price that a man will pay, because a man that sleeps around is really not going to pay any price. A female that sleeps around, even though she might have NDA signed, ain't nobody thinking she getting in these relationships and she ain't having some kind of pleasure, shall we say. So whether it's in DNAs assigned or whatever, people are gonna think what they think. And there's no amount of NDNAs that's gonna change that. So, just keep that in mind when people start talking about Hollywood types of females having the advantage and they can sleep around like men. Yeah, you can, but ultimately it's not going to be the same. It's just never going to be the same. That's just biology. It's a fact of nature. And if you have a problem with that, go talk to Mother Nature or your mother, because I can't help you. But one of the things that I also wanted to talk about is there are certain situations that a woman will find herself in that makes her a target. And unfortunately, that's single mothers. A lot of men know, they understand intrinsically that if you're a single mother, you're sexually active. Now, if you're a single mother with a father of the child who isn't active, that puts an even bigger target on your back. I hate to say it, but I'm gonna give you some insight here. Fellas gonna see you niggas say, you know what? She ain't got no man. She got a child. She might be struggling. Hey, I might just come through. Might might play the role of the father just long enough, well enough to get what I want. Know when I want. He might come around once a month. Might come around once every couple of months. He might be part of a rotation that she has because she's too busy or she's too chaotic to keep a consistent man. That might be one of the reasons why the father of the child is not around. Could be a one night stand, could have been a short term relationship, and he just says, you know what? I can't deal with this anymore. She want that itch scratch just like anybody else. The only thing is now she has a child. She has a child in the mix. So she has to move a little bit differently. She can't have, or she can, if she's a if she's a upstanding mother, shall we say. She's not gonna have her child around just anybody. So he's gonna have to come over when the child is asleep, which is usually, you know, after 11 o'clock. They do what they do, and he in a win. It's not about what they think. It's how the situation presents itself. And I'll put it to you like this: what do you think when you see a woman? Doesn't matter what her ethnicity is. She's not married, and she has a 2 year old, and there's no man ever around her. She ain't married Magdalene. She didn't get pregnant just by playing with a banana or a cucumber. And she sure as hell didn't go to the sperm bank. But you can tell by her living conditions that she didn't. Now that doesn't mean she's welfare poor. That doesn't mean she's not doing that well financially. Because if you look at the biggest group of impoverished people in the United States of America, it's women with dependent children. Men see that, and men, some of them, can be like vultures, and they will prey on that woman. Why do you think they always talk about men going over women's houses and eating up the kids' fruit snacks and drink boxes?
That's just trifling. That's just straight and trifling.
But hey, I'm giving you some game.
Mm.
You may the older women may not mean it, but your daughters. This is the number one thing we've been saying now with regards to the younger women, especially with the advent of the rise of single parent homes, is they don't have a male influence. It doesn't necessarily need to be a father, could be an uncle, a much older brother, or whoever the case it is, a respected male. Tell her about male nature. We talk about the red pill for men, but the pink pill, if you will, really doesn't get into male nature. And I think that's the biggest problem and the biggest misconception that a lot of women have is that they don't understand male nature. They say, well, if he loved me, he shouldn't be going around sleeping with this woman and that woman. It's just like was said in the movie Boomerang with Eddie Murphy and the character what's the name played? I can't remember the name right now. When he said when she said love should have brought you home, he said, yeah, but sex kept me out.
Oh, Holly Berry.
Yeah. The character Halle Berry played. So women have to, understand a male's intrinsic nature, and I know women are going to retort, well, he should be able to control his nature. Sometimes, as a man, you don't want to control your nature. This is why some men get married. They want to have ready access to sex on demand.
Look at Doctor Dunbar coming with the name Angela. Yep, Angela.
So I mean, and it's a hard pill for a lot of women to swallow. They say it shouldn't be like that. Hey, look, I'm not telling you what shouldn't be or what should be. I'm just telling you what is. And if you have a male who has a higher, you know, sex drive than most, he's looking to be satiated. If it ain't
what,
you, go ahead, Dave.
what's crazy is like I just had a conversation similar with two young ladies in my office today, and they were talking about their their stepdad, and pretty much I'm like, and I know in the counselor's corner we and you've said that heard many times, say no to single women and all that stuff, and I'm like, man, these guys can't catch a break by the stuff that they were saying. And they're like, well, I do this to my stepdad and my brother told him to shut up, and I'm like, really? Like, and And what they were saying is like no matter what, that the single their well not single their mom and in one case they're actually married, and it seemed like no matter what the woman always sided with the child. So and these kids would, they were basically saying, I wish my stepdad, because I made a comment, I made a comment like, it's probably time for them to take that belt off. And I know most of you play like, oh no, a counselor shouldn't say that. But when you can build with relationships with your students and you can have those conversations, and these are really not my students. I have sixth graders, but like they said, we come to you because you understand our culture. You understand our you understand. Then they said, plus your hood. So, and I said, it's probably someone he need to take that belt. And it's like, I wish he would. Man, my mother would do this. My mother would do that. If he even thought about it, I ain't even worked. And I'm like, man. And I just kind of listened and I'm like, he has no freaking control. He has nothing. He's just there for the ride with the mother. And he, like, what can you do when you, as a man, and you don't have no control or no autonomy in the situation, and you got little smart mouth girls just doing their own thing, and you know that they need. And I ain't saying putting your hands on them, and I was just joking about the belt
They
thing.
need some direction.
Yeah, and you can't really give it if they go against it, and then their mother's gonna side with it. And I'm not saying that's always the case, but I hear these stories too often, and I'm like, then they're like, "Why are you shaking your head, Mr. Glover? Why are you shaking your head?" As grown folks' thoughts. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, and that's what I was talking about earlier when I mentioned, the father figure, because the father figure, or at least a male role model, is going to impart certain things upon a younger woman that her mother may not, all because her mother doesn't think it's necessary. And what that breaks down to is this: back to the single mother. If she happens to get caught out there a second time and she gets pregnant again and she decides to carry that kid to term, now she has two kids by two different men. She doesn't have to tell anybody anything. She's a walking billboard for, as some of my fellow boys would say, she's a billboard for recreation only. It's unfortunate that women bear that moniker and guys don't. I'm not here to make it anything other than what it is. So please, younger women, if you are a woman who has a prepubescent or a pubescent daughter, make sure she gets with a man who's going to teach her no bullshit about male nature. So she at least has a fighting chance not to be misled by her own delusions. You heard me correctly. Her own delusions. Because if she catches a man that's straight up with her, she's got to ask, do I really want to deal with this dude on a just casual basis, or do I want something more? It's not easy, especially in this particular day and age where people are looking at sex as a free for all, the quote unquote everybody's doing it. Well, actually, I'm here to tell you, everybody's not doing it. Hold on, I gotta let my boy out. He's aching to get out.
Well, one of the things I wanted to add to that, I'm trying to lose my train of thought. I mean, you had said something that had triggered a thought, and when you get older, you start getting dementia and all that shit. So I don't know. Maybe that's just happening with me. I'm joking. I don't want to wish that on anyone. It'll come back to me after I think about it. But it was a thought related to something you had said. Let me sit here. Go ahead. Finish your thought. It'll come back to me.
Yeah. So make sure you know you you get a man who's gonna put her interests, her long term interests first. And now I'm not saying a woman has to go out, get married, start a family, and all of that. But I'm saying she does need to be careful with who she beds down with, even if she's doing what Steve Harvey's daughter's doing, because eventually all of that stuff comes behind you, and all of that stuff people are gonna figure out, and they're gonna know, and they're gonna say, okay, do I really want to take her seriously, or do I want to treat her as another conquest? That's the unfortunate situation that a lot of women are going to find themselves in, especially women who have money at a young age, who have the ability to move through certain circles with some sort of anonymity. It's tough. She's a target, and we see this now with the advent of women being female, being a breadwinner in a relationship. If paternity is decided one way and he wants to pursue custody, child support, it's coming. And it's coming like a thunderclap. And do believe that. Yeah. There's some men out here who gonna do that shit.
So we're gonna tackle Anwar's point, but I know what was thinking. I was like, a lot of times, see, women are always talking about their intuition and they know women. This woman is doing that, but when a guy tells, whether it's their daughter, a niece, or a female friend, and try to school them on game about guys, it goes one ear and out the other. But when it's the other way around, oh, they know everything. Oh, this woman about to do this. She about to do that. This is what's about to happen. Listen, we got to run an equitable system here. Like if a guy is telling you something and you see him, like it's a, I guess it depends on the source who it's coming from. If it's a guy that you know, like, okay, he's probably he has some experiences. He talks to different people. Talk to different people. He's been around. He might know what he's talking about. You might want to take heed to what he's saying, because a lot of times the first thing y'all gonna say, "You just hating, you just
Mm-hmm.
hating," and all that stuff. The guy like, what the hell I got to hate? I don't give two shits. Whatever the case is, I'm just trying to make sure that you in a better position, or you don't get caught up in something. But sometimes you got to listen to guys. You got to listen, whether it's your big brother, a cousin of yours, or someone. Always take the time to hear what somebody has to say. Now, what you do with that information is on you, but I would take the time to listen to them and always consider. You're gonna consider the source as well. Now, big discussion 76 said, hey, fellas, talk about the flip side. Um, is a man who has spread his seed seen as a sexual prize for women? Um, some like same like Future.
Well, I got somebody that's even more relevant to this space, to the YouTube space, than Future. I'm not going to mention the young lady's name because she's not here to defend herself or to articulate why she chose him. All I'm going to say is her platform has been removed from YouTube. She was an ardent misandrist of black men. And if you know, you know. Story goes that this gentleman already had, I believe, 6 kids. She flew across country to meet him, and now she's baby mother number 7. Like I said, if you know, you know. See, we don't make these things up, people. We are here to tell you what happens in life. And this is why I was talking about the single mother situation that a lot of women will find themselves in. And let's not make a mistake in try and categorize single mothers as bad people. Single mothers are women who had sex and got pregnant. It's as simple as that. It's been happening since men and women got together. The beta male, cool. So people, like I said, I'm not going to mention who the young lady is because she's not here to defend herself, and unfortunately, she's been deplatformed from YouTube. I don't know if she's coming up on some other form of social media. So you know, just just a word to the wise or the word to the unwise that it's like they tell boxers, protect yourself at all times. For women, it it really is about that. You have to protect your womb, your reputation, especially if you're dealing with men who don't value your reputation. A lot of women will be like, well, how can you tell if a man values your reputation? And it's a legitimate question. I will tell you, first of all, ask around, ask your female friends. Do they know of anybody who has been with him? And go speak to them. Now, and this is why I always talk about NDNAs for myself. If she's unwilling to speak to you, that doesn't mean he did her bad. That just means that they're not willing to discuss their affairs. Those are the kind of men that you want to deal with because those men aren't spreading their business, unlike the possibility of their seeds. If a man's got 5 or 6 kids, no one has to say anything. It's evident who he's dealing with, whether they're by mistake or by practice. He's getting around. Conversely, you can have a guy sitting next to you in your college class. He can be better than half the campus, but because he's careful of what he does, he's careful of who he does with. You don't know. It ain't on social media. You're not gonna find it on any website. The only way you can find it is in the four walls, the ceiling, and the roof, or the ceiling and the floor. And those are the type of men you want to deal with. Also, there's been the mention of friends with benefits or a sneaky link. Same things apply. If you as a woman, you are at a point in your life where you're dating but you don't want to be committed, find you a man that you can be consistent with. Have that understanding that, hey, look, this is what I want. Can you match it? It's like the whole skit from News Radio where the two meet and they discuss the future. 30 seconds is over. Have somebody that you have that kind of understanding with. It's not easy. And it was never meant to be easy, but that's why you have to actually put forth an effort. It's just like anything. Find that guy. Get with that guy and say, hey, look, like I said, this is what I want to do. This is how I want it. If you can keep this, we got a deal. And be honest with them. Be upfront, straightforward, and honest. And say, hey, look, if I find somebody that I want to pursue something with, I'm going to come to you first and break this off. But understand, if it goes sour, I want to be back here doing what we're doing. And he's got to have the same understanding. And I'm here to tell you that it works. I don't care what anybody tells you about it not working, it works. I'm not going to divulge my own personal experiences. I'm just going to tell you I'm that kind of man and it works. So find you that kind of man that you can have that agreement with, that you are compatible with, and handle your business. Get your itch scratched when you want to, how you want to, and it doesn't have to be in the street.
Hold up,
And
Herb. Some of these ladies said they want to hear. They said you don't have to say your no names, but they want to hear some of your experiences.
I will, without shedding too much light on the who's, the where's, the wins. It was somebody that I had previously worked at another location with, who I happened to meet up at another job, and that's what we were doing. She put us on the bed. I come through sundown, get down. By the time the sunrise, I got out. And that was going on
Mm.
for about a month before she told me, she said, hey, look, I gotta break this off because I'm getting into another relationship with this individual and yada yada yada. And I believe her and this individual, they're now engaged to be married.
Mm.
So I'm here to tell you people, you get the right people with the right mindset who are open and honest with themselves first, then each other second, you can have it all in that regard.
All right, Anetta, what's good?
Hey y'all, how
Ain't, ain't heard from you about 2 years and shit.
y'all? You know what? Cut it out. It has not been no. I haven't even been here 2 years yet. It's just a year and a half.
Yeah,
What's
time
going on?
flies. Yeah.
Nothing much. What's going on with you? I hear Herb up there spitting this knowledge.
Man, see, you know what the funny thing about it is this? People love to hate me until they
I don't hate
realize,
you. Know I
no,
don't
no, no,
hate you.
no. No,
Oh,
no,
okay.
not you specifically. I'm just simply saying because a lot of people they only get one side of me in the counselor's corner,
Right.
and I understand that. I'm that way for a particular reason. I don't want too many people. Can I speak to you for a moment? Because there's a couple people that I talk to consistently. Matter of fact, the what I was talking about earlier, without giving too much away about her. I've known this female for 4 or 5 years, and I know the issues she has with depression. So I told her, I said, hey, look, I'm not gonna judge you. You already know that. So anytime you need to vent,
But Herb, you know you a male whore though.
Wow.
okay. I if you can get this question right, I'll cash up you $25.
Oh
All right,
Lord,
okay. If
Herb,
I'm a
I'm not
male,
gonna.
hold
Okay,
on,
go ahead.
hold on, hold on, hold on.
I'm not gonna get it
If,
right. Go ahead,
well, how do you know I'm a male whore then?
Herb. Okay, so let's ask you this question.
Sure.
How many females have you slept with this year?
You don't want the answer to that question.
Male whore. How many you went on a
Uh,
date
uh,
with
uh,
this year?
Hold on. You do not want the answer to that question
Oh, I
because
forgot. This is listen.
I'm already telling you you're not going to believe it.
Okay. Well, I will say this. You may sell me one or two because now men are now taking the stands that women took. They like, I ain't even trying to have sex with her because I just don't want the drama. Okay. And I've heard so many men say that. And I was like, oh, he just saying that. And then when I sit and talk to them or when I'm doing counseling with them, I'm like, yo, these men really feel that way because they at a place now that they like, listen, if it's going to interrupt my peace, like most people say, oh, that's just a cliche people saying. No, people don't want drama. They don't want to deal with the aftermath of after we get up from the wet sheets that you going to bring me all this noise and chaos in my life that I can't just hit and miss and call you when I need you. I think people just get so confused and caught up in their emotions. And as women, sometimes when we have sex with somebody, we already don't bought the ring, walked down the aisle, don't picked out the house. And sometimes it's just casual platonic sex. It's just that. But sometimes you get caught up in your emotions. That's why I'm a key believer in not allowing everyone to have that opportunity to be a part of in you and a part of you, and just to make sure you keep yourself in that place and know who's supposed to be connected to you, who not. Now, do I think that some men got good capping game? They got good capping game that they can make you slip your panties off and you don't even have none on. Yeah, I think they can. However, if you are a female that's running with your emotions, then you're going to get caught in that capping game. Okay. But if you a woman of wisdom and a woman that's determined and a woman that's dating with some type of purpose and some type of goal at the end, or if you just a woman that stands just as men and say, hey, I have this level of peace, I don't want to interrupt it either, then you'll look at things a little different. Yeah, I know I'm very spiritual. And so for me, I'm looking at the heart and the conversation of a person. You know, I got brothers, I got cousins, male cousins. I was all close to the men in my family. So I know when a man running game. I know when he capping and he just want to get, he want to hit the skins. I know it, and I know how to shut it down immediately. Because when I call you sir, that means sir. I have put you in your place. Y'all know my famous sir, sir,
Uh,
and I
what'd
do
you
it
say before?
often. Listen, sir. And I do it often now that I'm in a heavy, heavy, heavy love relationship. I
I see.
tell
I
them,
see.
yeah, you know what I'm saying. I tell,
Congratulations. I see it.
thank you. I tell a man in a minute, sir. We not gonna have that conversation because for one, I'm gonna respect my man, and for two, I respect myself. So you're not
Yeah,
gonna talk to me in a way that I'm gonna feel uncomfortable. I never allow anybody, male, female, dog, cat, or mouse. You're never gonna make me feel uncomfortable that I can't communicate freely. So I'm
right.
gonna terminate the conversation and tell you to go about your way. But oftentimes people don't do that. You know what I'm saying? And so you got to be able to shut them down, shut them down. And I think people don't want to do that because a lot of times women are in a desperate state of mind. They like, listen, I'm 40 and I'm still single. I'm 50 and I'm still single. Girl, let me encourage you. Stay single if it's going to interrupt your peace.
But
And that's what I was talking about
you
earlier.
said something, value about shutting it down, and I done heard a lot of women say, "Oh, well, I just ignore them. I don't want to be rude and all that." And I would tell them from counseling 101, and I done spoke on him a lot of times. The great Dr. Papperlato. Sometimes you got to hit people on their freaking head for them to understand. They may have to feel it. So being that nice person, that nice guy, don't always work.
Right.
Sometimes you got to be direct and forward, like shit, pretty much knock it off. Go ahead with all that bull crap or whatever the case is, and let them know instead of saying, "Oh, I'll just ignore it" and all that. Because when you're ignoring it, all they're really saying is, "Well, she never said she didn't like it," so they just gonna keep. They're gonna keep coming. They're gonna keep coming, no matter in different directions. But when you put that, hit them on the head firmly and let them know, I'm not playing with
But
you.
in counseling, what they told us about ignoring and the unspoken. When you ignoring and the unspoken, that means that you are this almost like you're welcoming it because
Yeah,
you're not creating a boundary, correct?
it's
You're
true.
you're not creating a boundary, and when you're not creating a boundary, then you're leaving open boundaries for somebody to say whatever and keep capping. I was at the store in Buffalo visiting, and I stopped in the store, and the guy was like, "Hey, mommy, how you doing?" I was like, "I'm not your mommy."
Yeah, sometimes,
And he
and I
was
think a
like,
lot
"Oh,
of people.
no, that's what I say. I call beautiful women mommy." I said, "Okay, so how many mommies have you called today?" He was like, "I
Wow,
called a couple mommies." I said, "Let your mama name be sacred to your mama."
Yeah,
a
some of
lot
these
of people.
people approaches is not. It's just weird, like off, like the stuff that they say, whether it's whether it's just sling or lingo, whatever. But some things should just, I don't know, they meant to just be thrown out there for everyone.
The thing
But
about
you
that
know
is this:
why? Tell them why. And Herb said this last year. I remember. They need to stop watching them doggone reality shows.
no
Okay.
originality, no
Because
originality.
right,
Go
because
ahead.
nobody is original. Herb said this a year and a half ago. I remember he said they watch too many reality TVs and then they want to bring it in real life, not understanding that the reality TV is not reality. It's all a host of the show. It's all drama. to get you going and to get the views up so you can watch it. So these people think, oh, I'm watching reality TV. Ain't nothing reality about that. What's the reality about that? A woman doing a drink in somebody woman face. Because let me tell you, let me be up in the club 77 and somebody throw a drink in my face. I bet you ain't gonna never get that far to an opportunity. Who gonna let you in the hood in Buffalo, New York, get that close to throw a drink in your face?
Yeah.
Well, you guaranteed to get it thrown in your face at Club 77, that little hot box, whatever.
I'm
Uh,
just saying though, like
I
I'm
know.
just saying that people, that's not reality. How many, people just don't do that. That's not
Yeah.
welcoming. But I think we've lost touch of our reality. I had a young lady
Yeah.
who was talking to me and we was on a vacation and I came out my room. She was like, BITCH, you slaying that outfit. I had to grab her arm and her wrist and I
Wow.
said, honey, I don't talk like that to you.
Yeah.
I don't talk like that. So I don't want to be called that because where
Right.
I grew up in my 50s, if you call me a B, I'm supposed to punch you in your mouth.
Yeah. We on. It's on.
Yeah,
It's
so
on.
but I think that people don't got accustomed and got comfortable with this new lingo of capping and how they address each other. And all of us, we don't flow like that.
Yeah. And I
Y'all
think
got
that's
That's
a
me
true.
lot.
taking over y'all show.
No, always welcome. And because it's nice to have somebody else's perspective, especially from a female that's our age that's been married, divorced, and now's back out here in the dating scene. Because some people, and I've said this before, dating is what you make it. If you make it difficult, it's gonna be difficult. If you don't, it won't. And I tell people all the time, I haven't been on a date in 3 years. Full disclosure. And you know what? I ain't bothered by it. Not one. You know why? Because as Anita said, it's peaceful in this motherfucker. I ain't got to worry about no bullshit, no false pregnancy claims, no I ain't got to worry about none of that nonsense in this summertime. I can sit up and watch football on Sundays. I ain't got to worry about nobody bothering me. If I want to go somewhere, I can go somewhere. If I want to come home and run around this place unclad, cats ain't gonna say nothing. I don't care. I'm cool. And you
That's
know,
the enjoying part. But you know what?
yeah,
You're confident in your singleness and
yeah.
content. But
Mhm.
you know how many people are not confident and content in their singleness? Like when I said that to somebody, I was like, yo, I'm confident and content in my singleness. Like I can be single. I'm okay with it.
Yeah,
And a lot of them was like, why would you say that? But I said, when you become confident and content in your singleness, so when that person come, you don't have this inadequacies or these, insecurities about being alone and being left alone.
right.
And we know where that's come from. Like again, with social media, people, these images are too powerful for people to handle that. So you have people that they see this couple doing this and that, or they went out and got this and that. So they say to themselves, I gotta find a way to compete instead of thinking. When I look at it, I like, and I might know a little background about the situation. I might say, that shit, fool's gold, right there. But and I just keep on strolling. But a lot of people can't handle the images, so they think that they have to be out there doing something or dating or saying, man, I want to be able to post up. I need a vacation and all of that stuff, all the other nonsense. But you just never know why you keep trying to push that with urgency. You don't know what you're getting yourself into in the
And that
long run.
and that's all the more reason why I keep hammering at this point, especially for women. I think it's more imperative for women to understand that all the things you want to do, and I've seen this at work, are on the other side of fear. So if you want to go somewhere, go. If you want to do something, do it. It don't matter if you by yourself. And I think that fear, if you will, women have to get over it. You know how many times people are going places and doing things by themselves, and it's when they're doing something by themselves they actually discover somebody else is doing the same thing that they're doing. I've always said, go volunteer. You know why that person is there. The ice has already been broken. So now you can start a conversation from a legitimate point. How long you been doing this? What drew you to this? What do you see yourself doing? And you can, and I've talked about the book, and I know I need to get the book out there. That
100
has already started.
questions.
Yeah, that's already started the roadmap to those 100 questions. So if you, and this is the beautiful thing about how you can ask questions, you can tailor them to what you want. You can ask 3 questions, but only one of them you really want to know the answer to. It's not even seasoned people. There's some people our age who don't know how to date. They don't know the first thing about how to date. This is why you see all this nonsense about lists coming out about where they're not going to go, where you can't take them, what you can't do, and what you what I can't do. Wait a minute. Are you paying? Okay, you're not paying. You're not picking me up. Then you either you ride or you stay your ass home. But that's just me. See, I'm willing to throw that gauntlet down and sit there by myself because as Anetta said, I'm content by being by myself. I've been there, done that. Ain't nothing you can do, ain't nothing you can tell me, ain't nothing you can show me that I haven't already seen. But believe me when I tell you. So Anetta might be right in that regard. In my younger days, I may have been that gigolo. I may have been playing deuce, but I played deuce then, so I don't have to play deuce now. You know what I'm saying? So people, women, take a step out there. It's like David said, in order to get comfortable, you got to be uncomfortable. A lot of women don't like being uncomfortable. I don't know what it is, but y'all put on the shoes I have, a shoe I have size too small just to look good. So take a step out there and I have shoe size too small. Take a step out there. It can't hurt you any more than shoe.
Yeah, it's yeah, both hammering down some major points that sometimes people just need to self reflect, and they need to self reflect by themselves and not get caught up in overall what they see in the media, social media, and all that stuff. Because a lot of times that kind of alters people's decision making process on what they're gonna do and things that they really, and you just mentioned about, the whole cheesecake factory thing and all that stuff. I'm like, shit, as far as I'm concerned, it was nothing ever wrong with Cheesecake Factory um, at all. Trust me, it ain't nothing wrong with the Cheesecake Factory.
I've never been to one. I've heard of it before, but I've never been to one. So I don't know what the whole to do is in terms of not wanting to go there. I've been to chain restaurants on dates before. To me, I think, and I'm picky about my food. So being that I don't eat pork, beef, I have to go somewhere where the chicken is exemplary, and I know it and can trust it. So that's my only thing about traveling. So if I when I do travel, I'm more than likely to find myself at a chain restaurant. But that's just me. So yeah,
But I
but
think
yeah.
sometimes it's just the younger generation that they feed into these narratives, and you know it could be someone that's in their you know early 30s, mid 30s, and they meet a guy in their 40s, late 40s, and they want to carry on like what they see on social media, and they end up losing out on a
Mhm.
great opportunity because they want to mimic uh, these fools out here that's cutting the food. Sometimes you just gotta block. You gotta isolate all that stuff, and during this time is probably the worst time because everybody want to showcase, show and tell during the holiday season and all that stuff. So people always get caught up in the images. That's what it is. The power of the images, whatever. And we know that from back in the days when you see commercials and stuff like that that promote that kind of influence your mind to say, man. And now it's just coming to you on your phone, on your computer, on a regular basis. These images, people. for whatever reason. That 1 minute of that commercial um, kind of influences what people do or cause them to say, "Man, let me go check out this restaurant. Let me go check out that." I see it all the time. I was like, "Damn, that should look good." And then you want to try it, but then you're like, "Yo, this was crap. This wasn't." But you already spent your money, so
Yeah.
people get caught up always in these images on social media, and it definitely influenced the brain.
Yep.
I agree with you. I seen this thing that you're talking about, David, and it was like I don't know who her poll was, but she was like, "Women, if he taking you to Cheesecake Factory, if he taking you here, if he taking you there," and it made me laugh because some of the spots, I'm like, "Girl, some of them spots y'all don't even go by yourself."
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Not alone you sitting here now trying to restrict your dating options or where to go. And what makes you think that somebody need to go spend $400-$500 on you when they don't even know if there's potentiality with you?
Right.
That's crazy. Dating is like an investment.
Hmm.
I'm investing my time and my money with you. Are you worth me doing that? And I know a lot of women gonna get mad at me saying that, but I'm used to being on the show and them get mad. Why he gonna go and Why he gonna go and spend $200 or $300 on you? And not that you need to give him any booty, but if I'm gonna go spend $2 or $3 and you a rug rat,
It's
Oh
true.
shit, that call, yeah. Uh, and a lot of that stems from men, as some people like to call them, men being tender-footed and not willing to say bye. She was an hour late for the date to start, or so the script goes. Me, I'd have given 15 minutes unless she told me ahead of time something was going to be wrong, and I'd have been gone. I'd have been out, gone. I'm not waiting around for no excuses. Burn notice. I'm out, gone. Never touch the step. And I think that's one thing a lot of younger men need to start putting in their repertoire. And that's on another list for a show to come soon. Is that
sorry,
men
I
got to
got
learn?
40. I got 40 Wi-Fi tonight. I don't know what in Texas we be losing power and stuff for
Hmm.
no reason.
Yeah, but
But
men have to learn how to walk away and or say no at the same time and just be done with it. It's like Anetta was saying. Why are you going to invest any sum of money on somebody who you don't even know or even know if you
exactly.
want to go that far with?
I think the best dating places is a coffee shop, Starbucks, Panera Bread, a mom and pop coffee shop. I don't think I always said this, and y'all know y'all heard me say this. I think the worst dating spot is to go to dinner. For one,
Yeah,
you're gonna have three interruptions at dinner: the greeting, ordering your food, and checking to see if you need anything else. You're not going to be able to have a decent conversation because those three interruptions are going to interrupt your communication.
this is how a man is to get. You're correct to a degree, and let me say what the degree is. If you actually spent time conversing with this individual before that initial outing, and I think a lot of
I
people
agree.
don't do that. They meet somebody, they want to go out immediately. Delay that. Set some parameters. See if you even want to even have a conversation with this individual. And if the conversation goes well, just say, hey, you know what? This is a nice spot that I want to go to. And you say it like that. You don't
Hmm.
ask them if they want to go. Say, there's this nice spot I want to go to. Will you accompany me? Because you have to go whether she wants to or not because you're going for yourself.
Right.
She should be an attache to your evening. In other words, she should be making your evening better, not worse. And if you think there's a chance that she's gonna make you even worse, leave her where she is. She might
Right.
be a phone only person. Leave it at that. Don't
But
force
I'm gonna
around.
say this,
Yeah,
Herb. If you got a
yeah,
woman that say, "I need you to take me to this restaurant," I would charge you then. When a woman say that, say, "Okay, we gonna go Dutch,"
yeah. Oh, absolutely.
because I believe who asks you out is the one that should pay it.
Yeah, I agree.
But if she's suggesting the date, like I remember when I was dating, I was in Buffalo, and him and I are really good friends now. But I remember telling him, I said, "Oh, I would love to go to the Black and Blue." He was like, "Well, let's go." So we went that following Wednesday, and we at the Black and Blue. But of course, he's a total gentleman. So the bill come, he grabs the bill. I'm like, "No, we going half and half because I suggested it." And he was like, "Nah, I get it that you suggested it, but you can do the next day." He was like, "I'm not letting a woman pay for me. I'm gonna take care." That for me, it let him know. And to this day, he still talk about. Remember that time we went out to eat, and you thought you was gonna pay the bill? He was like, "That impressed me greatly." But
Yeah.
again, how many women do that? How many women be like, "Well, I suggested it. I should pay." You know what I'm saying?
it, and I think it goes back to always say, like when my grandmother always say, do right by people. Like if somebody's always paying, you might find a woman like, no, don't worry about it. I got it this time. And that's when you start building upon something. But if you have somebody sitting there like she the freaking queen of Zumunda, like, oh, I don't pay for nothing. You ain't even like that for real. You ain't even like that. And I think sometimes people put themselves on a level and they're not even built for that level. Um, but it depends, on who the person is, whether you're going to accept it, go for it, or whatever the case is. Now you just got to get raw with folks.
Yeah.
You just got to be. Sometimes you just got to be a jerk, unfortunately.
Yeah.
David, don't be a jerk.
Yes. I'm always going to be a jerk in some way, some way, shape, or form.
You
Yeah.
just want to. Some men be pursuing women, but they're not persistent enough in their pursuit.
Ooh.
It's just true. It's
Okay.
Ooh.
true.
Some of them they just be like, I want her. I want to get to know her. But they, I don't know. I be feeling like sometimes people feel like they not worthy of that person, and should no human being feel like that because the same way I pump blood through my body, you pump it through yours.
Mhm.
So I'm never gonna feel like somebody is not worthy of Anetta and Anetta not worthy of somebody. Like, wait a minute, I'm phenomenal. What are you talking about? I'm not worthy. But yeah, I enjoy
Some,
y'all. Thank y'all for letting me jump in. Y'all know I'm about to.
yeah.
Well, we know you about to put on the moo and drink the.
First of all, David, I don't wear you ain't put me out there in the street like that.
That's my little thing. It's the fall time, and you know how y'all ladies you throw y'all little moo, drink y'all little
Have my
spice, pumpkin spice little tea to make you go to sleep well. Your warm milk on the nightstand, and rock a bye,
no,
baby.
you so petty. No, I do my tea. I do my alkaline water, and I'll put on my footy pajamas. Like I'll be total single girl out, but I ain't gonna be a single girl too long. That dun is coming, so I'm gonna have to change.
All right.
I good. It's a change for the good.
Hey, I
Yeah,
ain't mad at you.
we definitely appreciate you coming through. Whatever.
All right.
You, I be pulling up clips from back in the days. Whatever.
I've seen
So
it.
yeah, so it's all good. Appreciate it.
All right. Love y'all.
Hey,
I love
guys,
you
Have a
take
too.
great
care.
Thanksgiving.
Right.
Continued
Same to you.
success.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Another thing, especially we were just talking about social media and its rise. Something else that will lead a woman to being caught out there is when she changes her relationship status to complicated. Now, if
It's
you
so
don't know what
childish.
complicated,
So immature.
if
You
you
should
don't
just
know
put
what
on there
complicated means,
immature.
it can mean a couple things. And one of those things is I am still sexually involved with the individual, but I'm exploring my options. Hold on. You're killing me, boy. What you want?
Yeah, I see all that stuff, and I'm like, who subscribes to this? Who even goes on there? And I think I kind of omitted that whole area. Like, why do people need to know that single, um, married or engaged, whatever? Like, it's like a dog and pony show or something like that that people are putting on. I mean, you get what you get. I'm not giving you all of that. You're gonna find some mystique in me.
Yeah, they out there, man. I see them and I'm just like, yeah, you're compromised. Homeboy or homegirl serving you up something good. You don't want to leave, but you don't want to stay. Make it be mine. And so that's another way that some women they get caught out there, and you know they'll they'll want one thing, but they'll do something else, and you never know what they're going to do until that moment comes. Then you'll see separated. Okay, well, you're a messenger, you'll talk to her. Well, he doesn't know if he wants to file for divorce. What about him? What do you want to do? Well, I still love him. That's key for we're still sleeping together, but he might be out the door, and I don't have any options. I suppose. I don't know, but that's another one of those things that potentially leaves women exposed, and then it opens the door for some smooth talking Melvin to come in, and next thing you know, Melvin at home drinking the Capri Suns, eating the now and later's, and hey, where's the milk
Uh,
at?
and they fall for it every time, whatever. And you know, again, it's all crazy. So a lot of times you hear people like, well, there's nothing wrong with putting your if people happy, putting your relationship out there, whatever. If you don't, you got something to hide and all that. Only a fool would even feed into that if that's what you go with. Only a fool or weak-minded person will let you convince them to say, "Hey, I've been kind of private and secret with my stuff. I ain't gonna change up. I ain't gonna change now." And for that person to say, "Well, I think my friend or my girl, she's always posting pictures with her and her man. Why you don't never want to take no pictures or post up? Because you know what, y'all have to eat a lot of crow after you've been posting pictures of someone you just started dating, and then 2 months later y'all not together. How do you
Yep.
explain that? How do you explain when you wanted the whole world to know that you out there dating this guy and giving a play by play step of everything that went on? Then the shit falter. How do you explain it? Because it's gonna be somebody that's gonna call you out when they see you. Hey girl, you still with that guy y'all was posting? Y'all was cute together. Nah. What happened? I just knew. And they fucking with you with that
Yeah.
conversation so they could go back and as soon as you walk away, girl, I
That's
just seen
fine.
her. I just seen her in this what she said, and then they'll make subliminal posts and stuff like that. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's no need to. It's no need to. I don't care how you try to justify it and glorify it and all. There's really no need to do that. Most guys really don't want to be put out there like that because maybe you're thinking like, man, you just don't know how stuff go, and you don't want to be questioned about
Yeah.
like what happened. And the thing is, some of y'all pop out of nowhere with these men, these random men, and then shit. 4 months later, it's someone else, and it continues to be a pattern. And people are looking like, let me go to such and such page, just get some personal entertainment, and see who she go with now.
I've done
You,
that, and
yeah,
I've had many a good laugh. Many a good laugh. That's one of the reasons why I just do. I'm just like, you know what? If you want to know, you would be there with me. And if you ain't there with me, then it ain't none of your business. But that's just how I roll.
yeah. So you're gonna have people that's gonna guys that's gonna cap. You're gonna have some delusional women. There's some delusional guys. It's just not one way.
Yeah.
Uh, it all intertwine. But the bottom line, when you think about it, at the end of the day, the only person you can control is yourself.
Mhm.
And half of that time, you don't even know we make wrong decisions or may do something. So you need to just focus on that instead of trying to control what everybody else is doing. And and I tell you, some of y'all you're just too consumed with everybody else's life, too consumed and worry about all these different entities that you have no control over. So if you don't have no control, there's no need to be calling, texting, doing all this and that. You have no control. You adding stress to your life that don't need to be there. But you know what? Know what happens when people do that? That's because they ain't got shit to do. They don't have shit to do because somebody who's busy and got stuff to do, the day float goes by so fast. And you're
Mhm.
like, damn, where did it go? Because you got something constantly to do. And then when you finally settle down, you might say, damn, I did. This person did text me or they did call me. Oh, shit, I was supposed to call them back.
Yeah.
You busy.
Yeah.
You busy. Some of y'all need to get some hobbies. Do something instead of being in other people business and trying to um, play Mother Teresa or whatever. I just had to tell one of my little midget little sixth graders. She come in and tell me she's always in somebody's business, and I had to tell her, listen, if you coming to me because you minding somebody else's business, you already know what I'm gonna tell you. No, 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 Mister Glover, I'm not doing that. She's like, but I understand what you're saying. That I said if you tell somebody once, or you may give them a couple, you might tell them twice, and they refuse to listen. It's on them. You got to move
Yeah.
forward.
Yeah.
I know you only 11 or 12, but what I'm trying to tell you is instill something in your head from a young age that you say, I'm not going to be bothered. I'm not going to let this beat me down, and I'm
Yeah.
going to keep it moving. Some of y'all just keep on calling and calling and texting and texting. It's not worth it. And you wonder why you looking old as hell in the face. Stress, stress, worried about others, worried about things you have no control over with at the
Absolutely.
end of the day. At the end of the day. Don't do it. I'm not doing it. But nobody, I'm not doing it. I'm not.
Can't pay me enough. Ain't pay me enough. Peace of mind is number one, two, and three. If I'm doing something that's not being reciprocated, I know where I stand. I'm out. First Greyhound, not the last. First, because there's always gonna be many more, but there ain't many more of me. I can assure you, I am an original, unique. There is no blueprint. There is no secondary. So hey, play what you will, do what you will, you reap what you sow. So if you ain't putting nothing out there, don't expect anything to come back to you. If you putting out bullshit, expect bullshit to come back to you. Them just the laws. I don't make them. I just observe them.
Yeah. And that's what people have to think. Like nobody made this up. This stuff been going on way before our time. It was just communicated differently. This stuff been scripture in the Bible. It was just now we just have more access to visual stuff, but this stuff was already put out there.
Yep.
But you can't wreck yourself or worry about the whole thing. Somebody capping, doing this or doing that, people being delusional and all that. Because, like I said, a lot of it is based on images and things that you see, and that kind of drives you to want to do. And like again, you can see it. You see people comments or whatever the case is, and you know, like they want somebody else's life so bad, and they like to the point of some of y'all women, and y'all know them. You know what I'm about to say is true. Some of y'all women, y'all may look at that man who's doing that for them, and if you get that opportunity to get a chance to holler at him, you're gonna go for it.
Hmm.
You're gonna go for it, and you'll say, no, 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 that's my friend. That's my friend. We don't. That's against the code. I said years ago that code shit ended. It ended. I made a declaration that that girls' code ended, and somebody said to me, "Who are you to declare that it's over?" It's over because of the images they see. They like, man, that could be me.
Yep.
Why can't I get that?
Yep.
And then you
Yeah.
wonder why. How did she end up talking to him? I didn't know he was sleeping with my best friend, whatever. That's because you put everything out there. She seen it. Yeah, I had a little get together, drinks and all that, and you was feeling nice, off doing your own thing. And meanwhile, she was groping him up when you wasn't paying attention.
The
And
puncture.
it went from there. It went from there. And y'all tried to blame. Who was it? Was it Jamie Foxx them said, blame it on alcohol? Was that his song? And that's what y'all go with.
Yeah,
Y'all may
man.
think I'm being facetious right now saying this, but shit, it's facts to this.
I ain't gonna comment. I'm just gonna laugh because I know it's out there. I know it's out there. So
Yeah.
make of it what you will. But hey, word to the wise: don't get caught slipping.
Mm. We ain't gonna belabor the point, whatever. We'll get ready to get out of here, get y'all a little extra time to do whatever. I know some of y'all ready to grease them pans and all of that stuff and get
Yeah.
everything going. Um, but we gonna close it out early tonight, and if you want to go back and listen to anything said, because it's always some jewels thrown out here. It's
Oh
what
yeah.
you take the main problem with many of people, they don't think they can get jewels from people that they actually know, can see, touch, or feel, unless they're in some type of role, like a pastor, deacon, or somebody that got money or well to do. Y'all listen to, they could convince you to jump over a damn bridge. Jump over the Niagara Falls, and then your ass gonna pop back up, and you'll do it. But sometimes it's just hearing, regular individuals that you can touch, see, feel. Uh, Sometimes those points are more valuable. Sandra said, "I have to watch the replay." Make sure you watch it and check it out. You know how we have our fun moments, we laugh, but it's definitely some jewels to think about that's dropped that you'll say, okay, yeah, I get where they're going with it. So people just be conscious of what's going on. And her big bad wolf, you got any closing comments?
Ah, we all are where we're supposed to be, and if not, then you ain't supposed to be where you at. So the question is, why are you where you are? The collective decisions you made in your life have led you to where you are. So if you want a different location, you got to start changing your decision making and your decision patterns. That includes who you having sex with, because you having sex with somebody that's bad for you is going to prevent you from seeking out someone that's good for you. And that's within any endeavors. We just happen to be talking about sex, so that's why I'm gonna leave it at. So even if it's a sneaky link, friends with benefits, be on the up and up about what you want and the individual that you're doing it with, because that individual can propel you or hold you back. And as always, growth and understanding occurs in the gray area. Godspeed. See you next time.
Yeah, all right, I kind of said what I said as far as my closing comments, and again, you control what you can control, and that's yourself. So, any of these situations, you have to find a way to gain control. Once you lose control, then it's like a rat race, and you all over the place, and that's where the chaos and all the stress come into it. So, just just always try to channel your emotions and control what you can control, and be in control of yourself, and that can be the driving force to any other situation. If you know who you are and you know what you stand for, some things you just not gonna go for. Some things is a non-negotiable, and you ain't having it. And if you stay steadfast to that, then you might have a winning outcome. But with that said, I want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy your family, friends. Be safe out there. Don't get caught up in that world of what what, because I never known. Like, it seemed like every freaking day I keep hearing like shit. Did Black Friday already start? Because it seemed like they've been talking about that shit on Sunday, last Saturday, and all that. You already know what they're trying to do, because again, I always gonna say this: the one thing they knew that about us blacks, that we like to sit down, have dinner, and eat. And, it depends. On the time. Like, some people eat 4 or 5 o'clock. Then you're gonna have another meal with another group of people that come to the house at 7 or 8. So it's like a big eating festival all day long. But they knew uh, to try to throw this Black Friday thing earlier so they can
Yeah.
remove y'all from being together.
Yep.
So you can be out spending money thinking you coming up on a deal on the TV, and meanwhile you losing valuable time with family members, elderly family members that's getting older, and this may be their last hurrah, but y'all chasing that damn TV. You just bought a TV a year ago. Don't get caught up in that. When you recognize somebody older and they seem like they going down real fast, or someone came through from out of town and they made it there, your obligation probably should be there. Not at the damn shopping mall spending money. I don't care who you buying for, whatever the case. That should be there. But you don't know if that person's gonna be there the next day. Them same products will be there. And if it went bad, they'll replace it. But you can't replace those individuals that you break bread with and build relationships with over the years. So just think about that this time. Don't get caught up in that shit. Black Friday. You know why they call that. You heard? Did you see what it said? Black Friday. This is for black people, because they know we spend money. We spend money big time. Choice is y'all. You can control that. If not, I ain't trying to be no Scrooge or no ogre. And many people may think that, oh, he just saying that. I'm going out. I'm going to buy this TV. I'm going to
I'm a
buy my
Scrooge because I
man.
don't celebrate. So
I'm going to buy my man Melvin an 85-inch for the basement downstairs, whatever, because he deserves it. Choice is yours. I ain't messing with it.
hey, while you
Cause
out
I'm
there
just
getting that TV for Melvin, don't forget, hey, stack up on the Capri Suns. He likes those.
Oh yeah, yeah. He'll take. Your kid be ready to pack their lunch. His ass. You go down by the in the. You go down in the damn man cave. All that shit down in his wastebasket that he'd drink. All that little boys, little Timmy's drinks, whatever. Cassandra's happy Thanksgiving to you. I think I'm the only person who has never went shopping on Black Friday. Good for you. That's discipline. I've went out a couple of times, but then when I seen it, I was like, oh, this shit too much for me. I don't like all these crowds and people going back and forth, and I'm like whatever. Like if I can't, if I'm sitting around waiting for a sale like that, then it's probably not meant for me to have. So I just prefer to get it on another time or whatever the case is. But everybody be safe regardless because remember, we always talk about that. It's grimy season now. It is grimy season. And to me, I don't like when people like you when you got to go places, you got to park up in ramps and stuff like that, and it gets late and people popping out of nowhere. I rather for it to be go into a parking lot, get in your car, and be out. When you got to go search, damn, am I on F or am I on G? Am I on this row and all that stuff? That's a prime candidate to get set up for something, whatever. And people, they out here grimy. And they trying to take cars, they trying to get shit packages. And and you see like videos with the UPS workers and all that stuff. I seen one the other day. They hijacked somebody from you, took all that shit out the back of that. I don't know, was it Amazon truck or something? And just
Yeah,
you just
man.
never know. It's gonna be wild.
Yeah. Particularly,
It's
let me
wild.
put this out there too. If you're going and this is taken from a person who's worked security at a mall. If you have no place to store your items and you don't have a vehicle that has a trunk, take them with you. Okay, I can't stress this enough because you have these idiots who will smash your window just to grab a $20 gift, and you knowing that your what's the name on your insurance costs more than the goddamn gift. Don't set yourself up to be a victim. Take gifts with you if you don't have a trunk. And most people now are driving SUVs and you leave them gifts in there, prime candidate to get your window smashed. Don't do that. It's a public service announcement.
And that's true. And they go around checking door handles and stuff, and you have boxes in the back seat, whatever. They see that shit. They looking in there. Oh shit, they done hit the jackpot. You can't have nothing visible nowadays, and it don't even matter where you live because they coming everywhere. They coming everywhere and taking chances.
Also, another thing that's been happening around this city is if you have a flatbed truck and you have a soft cover, in other words, one made of leather or canvas, they are cutting those open as well to get in the gift. So if you don't have a hard top, take those items inside your house or inside with you if you're going shopping. All right, just another public service announcement. I'm here to save you some heartache and grief.
It's true, and you already know most kids don't believe in Santa Claus. So take that shit somewhere in the house or whatever. They find it, they find it, because they gonna find it, because they gonna keep looking every time you go back out, whatever. Ask my mother. If she listening, ain't nothing you heard that we ain't know about. I hate to bust your bubble.
Or leave it. Hey, leave it at a grandparent's house. Leave it at a trusted friend's house. Or hey, rent a storage unit if you have to for a week. There's a number of vehicles out there that you can do things with. Get together with your friends and rent somewhere a room in a secure facility or whatever it is. Just be safe. Be
Yeah,
safe.
like you said,
Be
take it
out.
somewhere that you know they ain't about to go over to. Like, oh, they ain't going over there. They hate going over there
Right.
somewhere. But then usually in those cases, if somebody only one or two people go over there, they'll probably freaking rob you blind too. So I don't know what the. You just gotta just think of good shit. I was gonna even say at work, but then you got cleaning people. They take shit too. So I don't know. I don't know. It's wild out here. So like Herb said, you might have to get a storage place for that month, whatever it is, and go in there and keep it there. And to be honest, I never thought about that, but if you're big on that, that might be something that you and your, if you got a sister, brother, and y'all all into it,
Go in on it.
chip in on that thing and go in there. You have it. Everything is in there, safe and secure. And then Christmas Eve, and you could take it out because
It happens.
it ain't nothing. I mean, because some people leave, you can see all through their windows. They have everything open. People can walk by, see the Christmas tree and presents underneath. Yeah, you're a candidate that they probably gonna try to do something. They gonna try to go in. Don't give nothing. Don't give people any extra motivation to do something to take advantage of you. Even though the presentation may look good, but the outcome may be worse.
Yeah.
That's enough. We dropped some jewels and we'll drop some more throughout this month. Fire security and safety. I know y'all probably think, who the hell is that? Like they got some freaking police ID or something. But this is just stories that you hear, read about, and and you see about. So that's it. All right, good people. We out. On to the
Y'all be
next one.
safe.
Everybody
Good
be safe.
holidays and each other.
All right. Peace.